In a league where there's a premium placed on quarterbacks and where quarterback play and the pass game are so important, you would think more people would be excited about teams taking receivers early on in the draft. But there seems to be this narrative that you shouldn't take a receiver early on, and that you can find those guys anywhere, whether it be, third, fourth, fifth round. You can find those guys as later picks in the draft and I guess get the same amount of production. So I'm not saying that narrative is entirely wrong. There are guys that teams hit on in later rounds, but that happens at every single position, and it happens every single year. But the guys at the top of the draft, the guys that are being talked about the most, the guys that go out there and produce and make plays in college are usually the guys that go on to do those same things in the NFL. So today in this video, we're going to continue to take a deep dive into Ja'Marr Chase's film and look at his skill set. In particular, with this video, we're going to take a look at his ball skills and break down why I think that's probably the best part of his game. Before we get into that though, check out the full scouting report on this channel of Ja'Marr Chase. Just posted that a couple weeks ago, so check that out. And also check out our previous film breakdown of Ja'Marr Chase, which focuses primarily on his route running. So if you like these videos, make sure you drop a like on them, and we encourage you to let us know what you think down in the comments. Also, if you appreciate what we're doing with this channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, let's get into the film. On this play, Chase is the single side receiver in line to the boundary, and Vanderbilt is bringing pressure here, and they're able to get an unblocked guy coming off the edge with a straight shot to the quarterback. So this ball has to come out quickly. Now, because Vanderbilt is bringing that pressure, more than likely they're going to be playing man coverage behind it, and that's exactly what they have going on right here. So what does all this mean? It means that LSU has one-on-one matchups on the outside that they can take advantage of if they can protect it. And that's a big if, because LSU is running double moves on the outsides, which are longer developing routes. It's going to take longer for those guys to get open. Now, fortunately for them, the protection holds up long enough for them to get the ball out to Ja'Marr Chase, who's able to go up top on that DB and come down with the ball. Now, the ball isn't perfect by any means. It's a bit underthrown because of the pressure, and there's a lot of contact from that DB from Vanderbilt. But Ja'Marr Chase finds a way to go up and make that play there. And that's the stuff I like to see, because on plays like that, it's not always about how talented you are. Even though Chase isn't lacking in that department at all, he's a very talented receiver. The thing I'm more impressed with is his mentality and approach when the ball is in the air. You can tell that he's thinking the ball is his the whole way, and that he's not going to be denied from coming down with that catch. And it's that same mentality that you see from guys like Julio Jones and Michael Thomas and those types of guys. They play with that same type of mentality, and I see that with Ja'Marr Chase. I see flashes of those two guys when I watch Ja'Marr Chase play. You get the same thing here on this next play. Ja'Marr Chase is once again lined up to the backside of a 3-by-1. Texas, they don't bring pressure here like Vanderbilt did on that previous play, but they look like they're playing quarters coverage right here. And against 3-by-1 formations, a lot of teams will lock that backside corner on that backside receiver one-on-one, and he's got to be able to lock that guy down. And I think that's what Texas is doing right here. So Ja'Marr Chase has to win here against tight press coverage, and that's exactly what he does. He's able to get open, but he has to come back to the ball because it's slightly underthrown again, and that's not a problem for him. He just adjusts, and he does the same thing to the Texas DB that he did on the previous play to the Vanderbilt DB. He just goes up top, comes out with the ball, snatches it out of the air, and there's nothing that defensive back can do about it. Next play against Alabama, Ja'Marr Chase is aligned to the bottom of the screen at the top of the numbers, and he's going against Trayvon Diggs. And Trayvon Diggs, he plays for the Dallas Cowboys, so that's NFL talent right there that he's up against. Trayvon Diggs comes out and he shows a press look pre-snap, but then he bails out of there at the last second. Ja'Marr Chase is able to close that cushion quickly, and he gets into Trayvon Diggs' blind spot, but Diggs does a good job of recovering. Now there's some hand fighting going on down the field, but Ja'Marr Chase is able to go up and come down with the catch and walk right into the end zone. And this play is a good example of Ja'Marr Chase's judgment and his body control. because first of all, this ball is slightly underthrown, just like the previous 2 plays. So he understands that he's going to have to make an adjustment on his ball. He also understands the guy that he's up against. Trayvon Diggs was very aggressive in coverage on this play. He was really aggressive throughout this entire game as far as how physical he tried to get with Ja'Marr Chase. So on this play, once the ball is in the air, knowing that you got a really physical and really aggressive corner going against you, what Ja'Marr Chase does is he just lets Trayvon Diggs run himself out of the play, and he backdoors him to go up and make that catch. And that's just really impressive. Understanding the guy you're going against, understanding the trajectory of the ball, and having good ball judgment skills, and then being able to let that guy bypass you, you adjust yourself and go up and make that catch. That's just wonderful on all different levels, and that's the type of stuff that you see the elite players doing, and that's what you get right there from Ja'Marr Chase. Same thing on this play. Ja'Marr Chase is to the bottom of the screen at the top of the numbers. Got press man coverage out there with a really aggressive corner. The ball is thrown. He's able to adjust just like he did on the last play, and he backdoors this guy, and he goes up and make the catch. So once again, plays like that, being able to go up and make plays when you have tight coverage on you, when DBs are trying to be physical, when you're not always necessarily open, and you really have to go up and find a way to come down with the ball. I see that, and I see those types of plays all over Ja'Marr Chase's film. So even though it's been a while since we've actually seen him playing the game, let's not forget that he can do these types of things, and he was doing it the last time he was on the field. And I highly doubt that he's lost any of this. He might have even benefited from taking a year off because he didn't have to go out there and take a single hit this year, which matters in the grand scheme of things when we're talking about longevity and playing the game at a high level for a long time. He also had the entire year to really hone in on his craft and improve as a receiver because he didn't have to worry about playing on Saturdays. He didn't have to worry about meetings, stuff like that. I'm sure he was probably still attending them, but he wasn't going out there and playing at the end of the day. So I'm assuming he had more time to focus on individual position-specific things that he was doing so that he can improve his craft and prepare for the NFL. So there's a lot of teams at the top of this draft that could be potentially looking for a receiver. And if I'm one of those teams, I'd strongly consider taking Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, it's going to be tough because you got Devontae Smith sitting right there. He won the Heisman Trophy, and you could argue that the season that he just had was better than Ja'Marr Chase's season in 2019. You're also going to have people talking about Jalen Waddle, and they're going to be like, hey, look how good this guy was before he had that ankle injury, you know? So there's a lot of talent at that position in this draft, especially at the top. So that decision is going to be tough, but there's no doubt that Ja'Marr Chase is a top 5 to 7 talent in this draft, and I don't think he's going to be falling too far outside of the top 5.